We didn't get anything out of it. So if these names can come out, yes, but also the research behind the names, the intel, so America can release that credible intel so we can see it. But if you are just naming names and all of that, I don't think that's the way to go. We must also see the research and the rigor and the knowledge system behind it, because Vimbai, a lot of people have died.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Abati'S Trending Gist. Today we are diving deep into a truly heated and complex discussion from Arise News, the morning show, that has many Nigerians everywhere talking. It all centers on the significant development in US-Nigerian relations, the American government's recent threat to intervene in Nigeria's escalating security challenges. This isn't just about diplomacy, it is about sovereignty, accountability, and the lives of countless Nigerians. The conversation gained critical momentum when Republican Senator Ted Cruz publicly declaring his intention to explicitly name Nigerian officials he believes should be held responsible. His stance, bolstered by President Trump's designation of Nigeria as country of particular concern, has ignited a fierce debate within Nigeria's political landscape and amongst its citizens. So our esteemed panelists on the morning show tackle this head-on, offering candid and often contrasting views on how Nigeria should respond to these external pressures. You don't want to miss this. Sit back and take a watch.
Good morning, viewers. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We begin what's trending today with very serious business. The latest development in the American government's threats to intervene in Nigeria's security challenges have emerged as Republican Senator Ted Cruz has posted on X, saying that in the next few days, he will be explicitly naming the Nigerian officials that he feels should be held accountable.
President Trump designated Nigeria as a country of particular concern. That is tremendous news. It's something that I've been advocating for a long time. There is no country on earth where Christians are more persecuted than Nigeria. Since 2009, more than 50,000 Christians have been murdered by Boko Haram and radical Islamic extremists. More than 20,000 churches and schools have been burned to the ground. I introduced legislation to direct the administration to designate Nigeria as a country of particular concern. President Trump has done that. Thank you, President Trump. We're going to keep the fight going to protect Christians and to protect religious liberty.
On his X account that accompanied this video, he also shared a statement, and that read, "I've been pushing for legislation to designate Nigeria as a CPC and to impose sanctions on the Nigerian officials responsible. Thank you to President Trump for his leadership in imposing the designation and, more broadly, for fighting to stop the murder of Christians in Nigeria. Now we should take the next step and hold Nigerian officials accountable. I intend to be very explicit about who they are in the coming days and weeks." Gang, gang. Rufai, you were saying you hope your name is not on the list. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
I'm not doing.
What's
It's
your take on this? Yes, I
it's
know.
It's Nigerian politicians that will be asking now that, hey, hope my name is not on the list. Hope my name is my asset in America. Hope my name is not on the list. Little wonder that we are really here, even the debate. Somebody say, don't talk about Trump. Don't talk about Trump in the past. But the truth is, the question will be, it's not just about naming names. What basis will he be naming those names? Are they going to also bring out the empirical research? Because we also run the risk of naming names out of vendetta. And it's not today politicians have been named in all of this insecurity. But some politicians have come out to say, oh, it's out of vendetta. So we would like to see based on the intelligence. So for me, it's not about the naming of names, which I wanted Cruz to name, because it's not today we're having names. What about the names that were released in Dubai of terrorist financiers? What happened? We didn't get anything out of it. So if these names can come out, yes, but also the research behind the names, the intel, so America can release that credible intel so we can see it. But if you are just naming names and all of that, I don't think that's the way to go. We must also see the research and the rigor and the knowledge system behind it, because Vimbai, a lot of people have died. And we have no idea what it means to lose somebody that ought not to die. There are many cases, people have called me in the middle of the night for kidnapping and the like, and so many things like that. For killings, across this country. For Zabaramari farmers There's lots happening. And people must be made to account for it. But most importantly, like I argue, apart from the calisthenics of the West and their own interests, we should solve that problem internally. Vimbai, Nigeria has the capacity. We are ECOMOG. We shelled out $15 billion to defend other African countries and bring peace to Liberia. The peace in Liberia today, the peace in Syria alone, Nigeria did it. Why can't we do it for ourselves?
Oh, very well said. I think it comes down to the fundamental issue that the killings must stop, the insecurity must be tackled head on, and we all need to be unified in how we decide to approach that and do that in a very effective and quick way. Well, in related news, there was a mild drama in the Nigerian Senate when the Deputy Senate President Barau Jibrin criticized US President Donald Trump, insisting that Nigeria is a sovereign state and that he, Jibrin, is not afraid of Trump. Well, this followed a perceived reluctance of the Senate President to speak on Trump's threat of military intervention in Nigeria. Well, let's take a look.
Don't be scared. I can say
I said
I'm not scared of Trump. I will say my mind.
President or a country be scared?
I'm a Nigerian. Nigeria is a sovereign nation. I'm a parliamentarian. I'm a deputy senate president. I can speak on behalf of Nigeria. I'm not scared of Trump.
But do not allow others to speak for you.
Don't be scared of Trump.
Get
you
something.
can say your mind about Trump.
Get something.
We are a sovereign nation.
But get something. Don't allow people to ascribe what you did not say to you.
Did you wrong, but you didn't say it. That's correct. You didn't say it.
Yes.
But
what I'm saying is that
you shouldn't be scared of saying anything.
No. If you want me to say it now, I will try to say.
We are not scared of Trump.
I will say, but then listen.
We are a sovereign nation. We are not scared of Trump.
Clark, please delete what the Deputy Senate President has said. He spoke out of tune. You are not hearing what I'm saying. I'm saying this time the Senate President of Nigeria did not answer President Trump, and then that the quotation is meant to cause diplomatic row. It is the presidency that will answer President Trump.
Clark, delete what you wrote about those statements. Well, let's find out what people had to say on social media. Most people took it in a very laughable way. But let's take a look at Sir Says, I believe is pronounced, who says intense exchange in the Senate highlights tension between defending national sovereignty and managing diplomatic narratives. Akpabio's caution contrasts sharply with Barau's bold stance, a classic clash of protocol versus principle. Well, that's quite an intelligent take. Cortigo also came and said, now everyone is talking. Now we are acting like people are dying, not the silence we've been having all this while. Just a tweet from Trump did all this. Go and fix the insecurity. It is not to be shouting sovereign country up and down. Then lastly, on a more humorous note, Big Fave said, Akpabio be like, no be me when I go put for problem. He doesn't want to join his name in it. Dr. Abati, your take on these issues.
No, this is my view. I think both senators are right. Yesterday, Ayo here was talking about the need for a coordinated response from government so that we don't have people either talking across purposes or a cacophony, of voices on the particular matter. And I think that is the basic principle. Now, I think it's unfortunate that up to this point, we don't see that, coordinated response. Even if the Nigerian government, through the Minister of Information, through the presidency itself, through also Minister of Foreign Affairs, Minister Yusuf Tuga, have said, look, Nigeria is not a country of religious persecution. What we need is this coordinated response. The second point is that we've also had the advice from people saying there is need for caution so that it doesn't look like we are, provoking further Mr. Trump or that we are, being confrontational. The same Trump that has threatened that he will put boots on the ground. So, there are some people who may want to be very cautious. However, the lawmakers, whether in the Senate or the House of Representatives, they are representatives of the people. And so, in that regard, Senator Jibrin Barau is also right to say, well, I'm representing the people of a certain constituency. And we do not think that Donald Trump should dictate our sovereignty. And I think he has the right, he's entitled, because the people in the National Assembly, they are representing Nigerians, and they have the right to speak up for their constituents and to express a particular view. So to that extent, he's right. The Senate chairman is saying he was quoted in some papers as having said something. And he said, no, he has not said anything. You can now moralize and say, well, the Senate president, who is chairman of the National Assembly, you think he should have an opinion. But if he says, no, we should be cautious, let the presidency lead the debate. Maybe he's just waiting for the presidency to take certain steps. He may be privy to certain information, and he does not want to use his chair as chairman of the National Assembly to make statements. So to that extent, I would say both men, are right from wherever they are coming from. But the Nigerian people will expect that the representatives of the people, in fact, the National Assembly, as a body, can also take a position and advise the presidency on this matter. But, if caution is the word, and you can see that even the Nigerian government is not confronting Trump directly. Yeah. They are just saying we are willing to cooperate, whoever wants to work with us, we will work with them. The advice of the elder, Professor Akinyemi, that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu himself should not confront Trump. So, they have all the intelligence. They are, in the seat. So they will formulate the best kind of response. And probably they are using back channels, something they may not come in public to say to people. So it's about information that is available from where you are, within the spectrum.
What a segment, the tension and different viewpoints. We are palpable, highlighting just how sensitive and critical this issue is for Nigeria. Now, let's dive into a critical take, building on the powerful insights from our panelists. The core of this entire discussion and my critical take revolves around a profound dilemma for Nigeria. The delicate balance between asserting its hard-won national sovereignty and the undeniable reality of its severe internal security challenges. Now, let's look at this, the sovereignty versus security paradox, Nigeria's double bind. For a nation like Nigeria, sovereignty isn't just a legal term, it is a deeply emotional and historical assertion of self-determination, particularly given our colonial past. To have an external power dictate internal affairs, name officials for sanction, or even threaten military intervention strikes at the very core of our national pride. Senator Barau Jibrin's bold defiance against Trump, stating, "I am not afraid of Trump," perfectly captures the spirit of independence. However, this principled stance is constantly challenged by the grim reality on the ground, as Senator Ted Cruz explicitly stated. The pervasive insecurity from Boko Haram's atrocities to widespread banditry and kidnappings has led to immense human suffering, destroyed communities, and eroded trust in state institutions. This internal vulnerability creates a paradox. The longer Nigeria struggles to protect its own citizens, the more difficult it becomes to conveniently push back against external actors who claim they are intervening for humanitarian or stability reasons. The silence we've been having all this while, the Cogito lamented on X, underscores the frustration that inactions inadvertently invite external scrutiny and intervention. So let us look at this. This is Nigeria's double bind. Upholding sovereignty while failing to provide basic security can be interpreted as a betrayal of its citizens, potentially legitimizing external pressure. Yet, allowing external intervention risks ceding control and setting dangerous precedents for its future autonomy. The strategic conundrum navigating external pressure. The discussion also exposed the fundamental strategic conundrum in responding to external pressure. The allure of defiance, Senator Barau's boldness. Senator Barau Jibrin's unapologetic assertion of Nigeria's sovereign right is certainly appealing, projecting strength and independence, but as Rufai subtly hinted, such direct confrontation could risk escalating tension, inviting retaliatory measures like sanctions or even alienating international partners who could offer genuine support. It is a high-stake play that requires immense strategic calculation beyond mere rhetoric. So let us look at the prudence of caution, Senate President Akpabio's diplomacy. Akpabio, they funny sometimes. In stark contrast, Senate President Godswill Akpabio's more cautioned approach, aiming to avoid a diplomatic row and suggesting the presidency leads the official response, highlights the strategic imperative of diplomacy. This isn't weakness. It is about controlling the narrative, leveraging international law, and engaging through established channels to manage perceptions and outcomes. Dr. Abati'S emphasis on a coordinated response speaks directly to this. A unified voice, carefully crafted and delivered, carries more weight and reduces the risk of missteps. However, the risk here is being perceived as indecisive or even complicit, especially by the frustrated populace. So let's look at the intelligence gap, Rufai's skepticism. Rufai's skepticism about basis for naming names and his reference to previous unacted upon list of terrorist financiers is a critical component. It questions the credibility and the motivation behind such external pronouncements. For external pressure to be genuinely constructive, it must be based on verifiable intelligence and a transparent process. If the information is perceived as politically motivated or lacking in empirical research, it risks being dismissed and further eroding trust. This calls for Nigeria to demand verifiable evidence and, crucially, to conduct its own thorough investigation and bring credible findings to light. Now, let's take a look at this: the internal imperative, accountability, and the unity. Ultimately, my critical take emphasizes that the most sustainable solution lies within Nigeria itself, beyond naming towards justice. While external naming might identify individuals, true accountability can also be achieved through Nigeria's domestic legal and justice system. Senator Cruz's intent to name officials should ideally serve as a catalyst for Nigeria to demonstrate its own capacity and political will to investigate, prosecute, and hold its own officials accountable for complicity or dereliction of duty in the face of insecurity. Without these internal actions, external sanctions or naming remains largely symbolic and risks being seen as an affront rather than an aid. The call for unity. The repeated emphasis on unity by the panelists reflects the understanding that a fragmented response, whether politically or socially, weakens Nigeria's position both domestically and internationally. A unified national front, backed by genuine efforts to address insecurity, would provide the strongest shield against unwanted external interference and the most potent force for internal stability. So, in essence, Nigeria is at a crossroad. It must navigate the delicate balance between asserting its hard-won sovereignty and pragmatically addressing its severe security challenges. The response to external pressure, whether deviant or diplomatic, must be strategic, coordinated, and most importantly, anchored in a renewed commitment to internal accountability and national unity. This isn't just about politics. It's about the very future and integrity of Nigeria state. That wraps up our deep dive into the US threats against Nigeria and the robust debate on the Money Show. This is a developing story with profound implications, and we will be watching it closely. What are your thoughts? Do you agree with Rufai's call for internal solution, or Dr. Abati'S emphasis on a coordinated diplomatic response? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to Obas Trending Gist for more insightful analysis of the news that matters. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. See you next time.